What's up, my friend? I am Y311H. I'll be your host on today's episode. And you, wonderful, precious child of God, welcome on today's show. Our theme of today, my friend, is honesty. Let's hear what this good vibes book of wisdom is telling us before we dive in. He said to them, "Go into all the world and preach the good news to all creations. Whoever believes and is baptized will be saved, but whoever does not believe will be condemned. And these signs will accompany those who believe me. In my name they will drive out demons. They will speak in new tongues. They will pick up snakes with their hands, and when they drink deadly poison, it will not hurt them at all. They will place their hands on sick people and they will get well." My friends, that is from Mark 16:15 going down. Now, child of God, this wonderful creator that tells us to believe in him through the book of wisdom is the one we really acknowledge here and always ask for their guidance before we start our show. We shall be doing that shortly, my friend, but let me tell you the aim of the video. Well, my friend, our mission is to spread honesty to the whole world, forgiveness, unity, my friends, peace, and the unconditional love of God to all creations on this world. That way, we would all be living in good vibes and constantly asking for forgiveness from our Maker. Let's talk with our Creator, my friend, before we dive in and take a look at the amazing videos that we have today. Thank you, dear Lord Father, for love and kindness. Thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you, dear Lord, for the videos that we have today. Thank you for your adorable, precious child, Father, that have joined us. All glory and honor belong unto you, Father. Dear Lord, in all the activities that we shall be doing in this video, may you guide us all through. May this viewer, Father, be forgiven all their sins, dear Lord, and receive their blessings, Father. May their souls be uplifted, Father, and their strength in you, Father, be renewed. Show them your paths, Father, and may your goodness reach them from wherever they are. In your holy name, Jesus Christ, we pray, trusting and believing. Amen. Let's dive in good vibes. So,
What is in my eye? Well, lucky for you, you get to watch this happen. Hello, Brianna. I have keratoconus, which means I wear these special lenses. These are hard lenses. You hear that? That is a hard thing that goes into my eyeball. They're called scleral lenses. And I have something in my eye. I'm trying to find what's in it. Basically, I have to wear these all day, every single day. This is how I put it in. Watch this. Ready? Okay, that's what you're seeing in my eye. If you can see, there's a little black mark. If you see, I think you were talking about this little black thing. That tells me my right from my left. So yeah, that's what's in my eye. Unfortunately, I do have to wear these big contacts because I have irregularly shaped corneas. Yeah, they're really annoying, and my eyes are always red. So that's the answer.
5 things that I avoid as an ex-witch that God has convicted me of. Let's get into it. I no longer associate myself, my children, my family members, or anybody that I know with zodiac signs. People don't realize how they are yoking themselves to these demonic identities. And why do I say identities? Because people who follow zodiacs, like I used to, associate their entire personality based off of their zodiac sign. Even though they'll say, oh, but I'm like not a normal blah 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 because I do this and not that. People don't realize that they're really associating themselves with the identities that the devil has given them. Anytime that my family members or anybody in my family tries to associate my children or myself with a zodiac sign, I quietly rebuke them in the name of Jesus. Number 2, no self-help books. Self-help books, unless they are explicitly Christian, tend to have a self-righteous, self-absorbed, and very self-motivated plot. Most of the time, they talk about how you have the ability to change everything and manifest everything for yourself, and that's just not how it works. You need God to manifest good things in your life. Number 3, gossip or cursing. I still kind of curse and I don't like it, and I am trying to work on it. Unfortunately, I grew up in a household where the F-bomb was just the adjective for everything. I definitely do try not to gossip anymore. I was born into a majority female family, and women, for some reason, we just gravitate towards gossip. It fuels something in our ego that I can't even explain. I don't do it because I don't want to speak death or speak negatively into someone's life. As God tells us, we know that life and death is in the tongue. Number 4, no demonic movies or songs. Anything. I used to love horror movies. I used to be a huge horror fan. I used to be one of those girls who absolutely loved Halloween. I used to dress up all the time for Halloween. I used to love watching scary movies and crawling into bed with some popcorn and watching scary things. But I've realized that this opens up portals of fear into your life. Demonic movies and songs open up a door for the demonic to come into your life. You are legally giving them the right to come into your life because you've now chosen for them to be there. And number 5 would be any kind of occult objects. I don't like to even go into stores that have incense and occultic, ritualistic items because I don't associate with them, and I know that having those things in your home opens up a door to the demonic because you give them legal right to be in your home. Some of those things would include crystals, which I know isn't necessarily demonic, but I am feeling convicted of that because that is something that I used to use. Pentagrams, or what people like to call, I forget what they're called. I'll put it up here. Most importantly, one of the objects that I try to avoid in my life is putting up any kind of candles or offerings to the dead. I know that there's a lot of Hispanic people out there that like to leave candles under a picture of someone who has passed away, but I am here to tell you that they cannot see that little candle. They cannot drink the coffee that you've set down in front of their photo. They cannot eat the piece of candy that you've set down in front of their photo. They are asleep. God tells us that when people die, they go into sleep, and we will not be awake again or resurrected again until the day he comes back. If you like this kind of content, follow for more.
To understand human nature, you need to understand this one rule. It is as universal as it gets, so internalize it. Especially if you're going to get married to somebody, okay? Keep this in mind. How someone does one thing is how they do everything. Let me explain. You can deduce how somebody is going to act in one area of their life by seeing how they act in other areas of their life. For example, people who jump from career to career or can't hold down a job, they are not going to suddenly become reliable and consistent in a relationship. And if you've lived with somebody and you know they're kind of careless, don't make them co-founder of your startup. It sounds harsh, and I'm not saying people don't deserve second chances. I'm saying patterns of behavior exist for a reason. Sometimes years go by and people change. I'm not saying that they don't, but it is rare. And how much are you willing to bet on it? Because I love people and because I believe in second chances, I'd be willing to put some of my time, a little bit of money on the line to give them that opportunity. But I would try very hard not to put my peace of mind or my future in the hands of somebody who has shown that they are not the most reliable. Now, a classic trap that people fall into, and I've fallen for it before, is believing that you are the exception. People who are charismatic have a way of making you feel special, and it's easy to believe that you are the exception. This is how women and men miss obvious red flags. Like, say your partner has a history of cheating, but they convince you that it wasn't them, it was the fact that they had never known love until they met you. Stuff like that is why having a fragile ego makes you so vulnerable to manipulation. All somebody has to do to turn off the rational part of your brain is make you feel special. Anyway, my thing was, I noticed that a friend of mine never let it show when he was upset. He was always smiling, always joking, but whenever he was alone or around somebody he was unusually comfortable with, me, all of that emotion and sadness and anger would come out. And I assumed that because he was comfortable with me, he would tell me if we had any problems. But surprise, surprise, he didn't. Because his desire to be liked was so strong that he was incapable of drawing firm boundaries and speaking up when something upset him. And we don't talk anymore, partially because he brought up these problems with people behind my back and kind of twisted it to make it seem like I was doing this on purpose, even though I had no idea it bugged him in the first place. In hindsight, given how he acted with other people, I shouldn't have taken him at his word that everything was a-okay. But naively, I thought I was the exception.
What if I told you that the ancient Greeks predicted this and that is totally normal? This is anakyklosis, or the cycle of constitutions, an evolutional theory that believes that every political regime on earth is gonna go through this cycle over and over. It's in the name. Ana, back again, and kyklos, cycle. Basically, we're stuck. According to Polybius, we have 3 positive forms of government. Monarchy, literally to rule alone. Aristocracy, the rule of the aristoi, the best people. And democracy, the rule of the demos, the people. But Polybius also said that everything on this earth is meant to decay. I bet it was a Monday. So these positives are meant to degenerate into their corresponding negatives. And so monarchy turns into tyranny, the rule of the tyrant. Aristocracy into oligarchy, the rule of the oligoi, a few. And democracy into ochlocracy, the rule of the mob, not this mob. And so every government goes through this endless cycle. Monarchy to tyranny, to aristocracy, to oligarchy, to democracy, to ochlocracy, and back to monarchy. Now, did anyone ever break the cycle? According to Polybius, yes. Sparta and Rome. How did they do it? Through the separation of powers. And guess what constitution today is based on Polybius' constitutional theory? Yep, Madison was a fan. This is a huge topic, the way we pass from one form to the other, and how that brought us ultimately to the separation of powers today. Let me know if you want to know more, but most importantly, what phase do you think we're in right now?
When you meet someone and you want to know everything about them, this is where you look. This is your line of heart. If it is going to the middle finger, the person is selfish. If it is heading towards the center of the middle finger and the index finger, the person's very friendly and very diplomatic. And if it is going to this finger, they are very ambitious and they can be possessive.
So I see a lot of interest in this American lady who's landed in Pakistan to find her lover. So I am Pakistani. I speak the language and I will help break down the drama for all of you who are very interested in this story. Now, rest assured, even Pakistanis don't think this is normal. Anyhow, so this lady, her name is Onaija. She's 33 years old and she fell in love with this guy named Ahmed Nadal, who's 18. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Onaija was catfishing Ahmed. Onaija's 33, Ahmed is 18. Just keep following along. So Onaija used to talk to Ahmed with a filter, and she used to talk to him with a filter of a white blonde lady. Now, Ahmed fell in love with her and he was like, yeah, let's do this. I love you, baby, and everything. And they got married on an online nikah. Nikah is like an Islamic marriage ceremony. Anyhow, so Ahmed was like, you know what, my love, come join me in my homeland. And he gave her address and everything. Now, keep in mind, the place where Ahmed lives is a very, it's an area. It's an area. So it's like the hood. Not exactly the hood, but yeah, okay. So what happened was Onaija landed in Karachi in Pakistan and she shows up at Ahmed's doorstep. And once she shows up at Ahmed's doorstep, Ahmed was like, whoops. Yeah, this is not that lady I was talking to, because Onaija was catfishing him. But Ahmed was kind of chill with it. He was like, you know what? Eventually, I'm going to get the green card, nationality, America, all that stuff. That's what I was going through his head. So he was chill with it. His mom was like, no. And just for context, Pakistan has a lot of there's a word which is called the colonial complex, because we were colonized by the British. So Pakistanis like look up to anything that is white as, oh my God, this is like the ultimate beauty standard. And God forbid you are a darker shade. It'll be like, oh my God. So the mom was like, no, this black woman and all that racist complex colorism, all of that just came out. And so what the mom did was but the son was okay with this. So the mom took her son, she locked the doors of the house and she ran away and nobody knows where they went. Anyhow, follow along. So then Onaija went and she like camped in that apartment complex, like right in the parking lot. And she's like, I ain't leaving anywhere without my husband. And she kept on saying this. And what happened was all of a sudden, like people started getting word of this lady who doesn't belong here. And it's a very close-knit community because it's the hood. So like think about like the hood where everyone kind of knows each other. They're like, where has this person handed out? Where has this person just landed down? So anyhow, she was camping in the parking lot and slowly news started spreading around. And that's where the media came in. And when the media came in, they're like, why are you here? And then like initially she wouldn't talk. When she started talking, she started saying all sorts of weird stuff. She's like, give me money. If you give me money, then I'm going to talk. But then slowly, like she started like saying some stuff. I want my husband. I'm going to leave without my husband. But again, like point being, a lot of huge ruckus started happening, and people in the apartment complex, their lives started becoming like, like hard, because like you have the entire media coming, and these people just want to go by their lives. So what happened was a humanitarian got involved. A humanitarian. His name is Chipa, Mr. Chipa, and she starts mispronouncing, and she calls him Chupa, and yeah, Chupa is look it up, and that became a meme in itself in Pakistan. So like there are multiple memes from this entire episode, multiple memes. Anyhow, a humanitarian got involved because like the people in the apartment were like, we can't do anything about it. So he was like, okay, I'm gonna step in. He's very respected, so he's like, I'm gonna help her. I'm gonna help this sister of mine. So if he's calling you a sister, then that means he's being very respectful. And so he holds a press conference with her. He tries to take her out of there. And she tells him, shut up, you man. You talk too much. And this man, I swear to God, he is patient. He's still not cracking. but then Pakistani internet started going around with memes. He's like, you know what? He's being patient because maybe he wants a green card. Maybe he wants to marry her. Maybe he wants to go. Anyhow, so this man is just trying to be very patient with her. And what happens is like news has now spread. It has spread in the entire area. There's this American woman who's come here for her lover, and the lover has ran away. And now it's kind of become like an episode of The Bachelor, where all the creeps of that area, like some of them who are like half in their grave, like 60 years old, 70 years old. There was literally one guy who was blind. He was actually blind. And they're all coming out to the media. And they're like, you know what? If that guy doesn't marry her, I will marry her. And they are saying the most ridiculous and ludicrous shit. And they're like, yeah, but if she gives me $100,000, I will marry her. The blind guy is like, yeah, I'll marry her. And, I'll get to go to America. I'll fix my eyesight. I'll be able to see again. And when I see again, I will marry a nice, beautiful woman. It is absolute batshittery. Anyhow, the humanitarian then, like, by now, we got word from her son that, okay, she's mentally ill. There's like, she probably has bipolar disorder and everything. So what happens is the humanitarian then tries to take her to a psych ward, one of the biggest psych wards in the country. Once he takes her there, like later on, video resurfaces that she'd escaped and then she ended up at a McDonald's. And when she goes into the McDonald's, the humanitarian is still following her around because now he's in love with her. So when he's following her around, he's there with her, and he says in Urdu, he's like, give her whatever, like if she wants to order a burger or something. Like in her head, he was like, a burger. She's like, no, I'll give you my order. And her order, she's like, I'm gonna like 2 McDoubles, 2 cheeseburgers, two large fries, extra sauce, and a Fanta orange. 2 apple pies, and then after that she's like, I'd like another large fries with that. It is absolute batshit crazy. Even the guy at McDonald's was like, who is she eating for? And her order comes, she's eating and everything, and the humanitarian is trying to be so nice to her. She's ignoring him. She doesn't give a shit. Anyhow, after this whole McDonald's episode, I think he tried to take her back to the psych ward. She didn't go there. She ended up back at the apartment complex, and she was camping in the parking lot. Then a video comes out of this guy who was trying to give her some chai and some biryani, and he was younger. I mean, he was obviously not the same age as the humanitarian. And then the video comes where she's flirting, and she's like, yeah, I like Pakistan. The chai is nice. And she's flirting with him. So like the meme started going on. She's like, oh yeah, she kind of likes them younger. So it just ended up into this weird ass thing. And yeah, and then they tried to take her to the airport. They tried to send her back, but then she came back again. And yeah, the latest update from today was that she was claiming that someone stole her $100 million wedding ring, and nobody knows what happened to it. So I tried to break the whole batshittery down. So yeah, from last I heard, she's still camping in the parking lot of the apartment complex. There's this one guy on TikTok who keeps on putting up videos. He's giving a biryani, and she's flirting with him. And now she's also making TikToks with some police women who are there. She's kind of made friends with all these people. And she had I forgot. She even had a press conference where she was campaigning to become the mayor of our city. She's like, I'm gonna shut all. Give me $20,000 out of 20,000. 5,000 is for the city. 15,000 is for me. She's doing some weird ass maths. Rest assured, not one person in Pakistan thinks this is normal. But are we enjoying it? Very much. Thank you very much.
This right here is a work of art, and if you look at it, you would have no idea what this is. I'm going to show you a slightly different angle and see if you can guess what this actually is. That right there is El Salvador's mega prison. And the president of El Salvador, who I've always said, and I truly do believe he's the best president in the world, has offered the United States the opportunity to outsource part of their prison system. They're willing to take convicted criminals, including convicted US citizens, into their mega prison. What Bukele is willing to charge is a small fee to the US, but it's a significant amount to El Salvador that will make their entire prison system completely sustainable. He's negotiating a win-win scenario for the US and for El Salvador. And if I'm being completely honest, Cecot, C-E-C-O-T, is the name of the prison. Let me put it back up so you guys can look it up. They have their own TikTok account. I want you guys all to check it out, because if you're a criminal in the US, it will make you think twice about doing anything. I'm telling you, that is the last place on earth you would ever want to be. One of my aunts is a state level judge in El Salvador. And I remember the stories she would tell me about the prison system over a decade ago. This is worse. This is much worse. We used to have prisoners. When I went to high school, we would have prisoners actually come into the high school and talk to us. Lie, they would literally tell us how there would be cockroaches in their food, and it's a part of the food, you eat it. They basically have beans. I don't know exactly what they serve at Cecot or this mega prison, but it makes the jail systems here look like a 5-star resort. So what do you guys think? Is this a good move for the US to save money and to use this as a system to prevent crime? It's a cheaper alternative.
What'd you say?
It's jumper cables under your phone.
Jumper cables?
Mm-hmm. Why do you have that?
That's you.
I mean, that's me.
That's you. I changed your contact to jumper cables.
Why?
Because you're always trying to start something.
Y'all be careful who you marry, because I am 7 months pregnant and this is the state of my kitchen. All the dishes washed, clean dishes in the dishwasher. Kitchen is clean. My fridge is fully stocked. He cleans it out every week. He has fresh fruit. He does all the grocery shopping for me. Make sure that I have all the snacks that I need. Pretty much got all of like the staples. All of the laundry done. He does laundry every single day. Trash, pets, water fountain filled up. Toilet paper thingy and wipies always fully stocked. He goes to every prenatal appointment with me. He set up the nursery for me. He is organizing the nursery for me. Like, he does all of my yoga ball stretches with me. Fills up my water anytime that I ask. Like, all I gotta do when I wake up is make my little bagel and just focus on building his big-headed babies. Like, marrying a good partner is gonna make or break your pregnancy, your marriage, your entire life. Like, y'all don't understand how good my husband is. I love him. Be careful who you marry.
You ever think about how guns don't use electricity? Isn't that crazy? Something this consequential and it doesn't have to be plugged in or charged. I'm not like a gun guy, but from a design perspective, it's pretty impressive. I mean, you look at a gun like the Glock 19, it's like every aspect of it is designed to work. You know, form follows function. It's kind of perfect. Compare guns to like cars. Every year, Toyota has to come out with a new Corolla, not because they improved on the last one, but because that's how you sell cars. I mean, guns are designed to shoot things. Cars are designed for car salesmen. And salesmen need features. They need jargon. You don't really think about guns as being technology, but that's just because they actually work. If anything, they actually work too well. Imagine if big tech companies made guns. Like a Smith & Wesson gun would need Smith & Wesson bullets. And you would need a subscription for some reason. Like you get a Glock for your birthday, and the first thing you have to do is download a software update.
I was a senior in high school, and I was going over to my buddy's house, and I knocked on the door. His mother answered, and I said, is George here? And she said, no, George is over at Tracy's. I said, Tracy's? She said, yeah, he said you'd stop by. Go on over to Tracy's house. And so I thought, oh, okay. But, I didn't particularly like Tracy's house because Tracy lived in one of those old farmhouses. And it was just kind of weird looking from the get-go. But, I decided to go over and because I wanted to get with George because we were going to talk about football and do some other things. So I walk over there, and sure enough, George is there. And I go, George, what's going on, man? And he's like, you're just the person I need. I'm like, what's up? He goes, she says the heat's not on, that something's wrong, and she wants us to go check. I said, what do you and I know? What do we know about? She said, just go look and make sure it's on. I said, okay, what is on? And she goes, the boiler. Make sure the boiler's on. It's steam heat. I'm like, all right, let's go. I'll go with you. Let's go. So we get to the stairs to go down the basement, and he goes, there's a problem. The light switch doesn't work. I said, the light switch doesn't work? He goes, yeah, watch. And he's clicking it back and forth. And I look down the stairs, and it's pitch black down there. And I'm like, how bad can it be? There's two of us, right? I said, all right, let's go. So we start going down the stairs very slowly because it's pitch black. And the farther you get down, the darker it is, And we're just about to get to the last step. And I hear, no, go. And I look at George. And George looks at me and I go, did you just hear that? And he goes, it sounded like no, go. So we both turned around as fast as we could. And you've never seen two people get up. He was grabbing my shirt. We were doing everything we could to get up those stairs and shut that door. We got up the stairs, shut the door, and I said, dude, I'm out of here. I am not staying in this house. He goes, yeah, let's go outside and tell her what happened. So we go outside and we're like, she goes, well, did you guys? And then we're like, we went down there. I'm telling you, we went down there, but something said no, go. And she's like, what are you talking about? I said, who's down in the basement? She goes, there's nobody down in the basement. I'm staying right here. I'm not going anywhere. Well, I'm going to stay right here. Hey, guys, throw me the Frisbee. And we started playing Frisbee. 10 minutes after we started playing Frisbee, there was a huge explosion in her basement. The boiler blew up. I know.